else they were a budding promoter or a DJ or a VJ or a manager. In a pre-internet age, cheap photocopied flyers were the best form of communicating who you were and when you were playing. By the end of the night, discarded A5s would be blowing down Sunset like tumbleweed. Bands formed and broke up and reformed again, with this guy replacing that guy, this name instead of that one crazy dude after another. Loose collectives looking for the magic formula, the glory moment at which the touch paper would ignite and they could begin their climb from a paid-for slot on the bottom of the bill. It could happen, and it did. Look around, and you could even see the people that it had happened to. Dave Lee Roth, singer with LA's biggest homegrown band Van Halen, ligging with his manager, Pete Angelus and the Rainbow. Vince Neil, a Mexican kid from the wrong side of town, now somehow singing his way to platinum heaven with Motley Crue, dragging the mud wrestling girls from the Tropicana back to his house to party. Robin Crosby, Rat's blonde bombshell of a guitarist, propping up the bar at the Troubadour, surrounded by chicks and chicks with dicks. And until the gods pointed their fingers and decided that this was your fate, there was an itinerant life of cheap places to crash, sofas to surf, rehearsal space to find. There was some movie doing the rounds saying lunch is for wimps. Well, so were breakfast and dinner out in Hollyweird, California. Any spare dollars, and who had those, were allocated to booze, partying, and flyers long before loose change was scraped up for fast food or whatever cheap shit was left on the shelves after midnight at Ralph's. The true Hollywood vampires knew girls who would buy their groceries and offer up their beds while they were busy trying to climb the greasy KY pole. This was a very particular life in a very particular time and place, and it was being projected outwards from these few neon streets to the rest of the world. Rock rags like Hit Parader, Circus, R.I.P., Spin, and Kerrang! Helped build the myth. Video clips that began on Headbangers Ball then crept onto mainstream daytime MTV. Radio stations like KNAC, blasting out Poison, Wasp, Ozzy Osbourne, saw their playlists picked up across America. People saw and people heard, and they came in their thousands to be part of it. Axl stayed only a few weeks, freaked out by the place and its people, walking around with a can of mace in one hand, a piece of steel in the other, like the hayseed Indiana boy he was. But somehow, he knew that he had to come back. Young Bill Bailey, just turned 18 years old and not yet W. Axl Rose, was a small-town cop's nightmare. In Lafayette, Indiana, in the late 1970s, most of the teenage troublemakers were of the usual sort. Bored, drunk, pumped full of hormones, and not particularly bright. It didn't take the FBI to catch them. Bill Bailey was different. He was bright, very in fact, and his rebellion had both a root and a reason. It wasn't that they couldn't arrest him. It was that they couldn't stop him, couldn't make him respect their authority, or anyone else's. He ran up 20 arrests by his estimate. I was guilty on 5, although Tippecanoe County Court records state that he spent a total of 10 days in the county jail as an adult over a period from July 1980 through September 1982, on charges of battery, contributing to the delinquency of a minor, public intoxication, criminal trespass, and mischief. When he finally hitchhiked out of town, back to L.A. and away from the torture of his early years, he was technically skipping judge's bail. He would not return for a very long time. If Axl Rose is the last great rock star, then Bill Bailey is the sad, sweet, clever, abused, and angry child that Axl left behind in Lafayette. Yet he lives on in every onstage meltdown and backstage bust-up, in every act of intransigence and temper. and he surfaces.
To keep listening to this audiobook for free, click the link in the description. It will take you to a free Audible trial where you can listen to this and many other books for free for 30 days.